Thanks for joining in, guys. We'll be starting our live tour here in a few minutes.
Good morning, everybody. It's Jesse Ogas here at Firefly Autism. Thank you for joining us today on Colorado Kids Day. So you all know, with the pandemic, it's all about the mask, right? So when we go inside there, I'm going to have to talk really, really loud so that you can hear me through the mask. So we're going to step into the lobby here, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of our beautiful new home here located in the heart of Lakewood. So follow me. So, Firefly Autism. We were founded in 2003, if you can believe it, by an amazing therapist by the name of Diane Osaki. Over the years, Firefly has evolved. For the first 18 years, we were located right on the corner of Yale and Holly, and most of you probably know where that location was. Thanks to the support of one of our amazing founders, Mr. David Corkins. For years, we were allowed to utilize that facility with absolutely hardly any rent. But as Firefly continued to evolve and to expand, we realized with our waiting list almost at 200 students trying to get into Firefly that we had to grow. And so on June 22nd, July 1st of 2019, we purchased this beautiful school. It was called the Sebesky Academy at one time, and it was owned by Jefferson County School District. Then Superintendent Dr. Glass agreed that Firefly had to own this beautiful building. So the construction began. The asbestos removal began in August, ran through December, and then the revitalization of the entire building began. Who would have known the pandemic would have hit us? We started hearing about it in January and February. It was really a scary time for the world, right? but we continue to persevere. On June the 22nd, we had to change our grand opening and celebrations, and we did a soft opening. And so we were able to bring in students and families for the first time that had been receiving telehealth. So we now populate the building. This first floor is early childhood. The second floor, which we'll tour a little later, is our school age program. We have a home-based program where we're serving over 120 families. We're now doing diagnostics. We'll take a peek in there. We have a gymnasium, which is so exciting. We have real playgrounds now. And so, as you can see, Firefly continues to evolve. And one of the exciting things is Firefly is not just about autism anymore. We're really evolving and becoming a center point for people on the entire spectrum, per se. We were known for working for children who were higher needs. Not anymore. We're working with everybody. And we're also becoming a space to support our families, to support our community with Firefly's Early Learning Center located in this building on the first floor. This is for all children, neurotypical children, to give families a cost savings and affordable daycare for families that are trying to live on a shoestring budget, especially during this time during the pandemic. So our commitment has always been and will continue to be that we will never stop serving our families. We will do everything and anything we can, pandemic or not, to ensure that we can provide the services needed. So, with all that said, 2001 Hoyt Street is our location. After the pandemic, we would be honored to set up a tour for you to come and see our beautiful new home. So with that said, we're going to pop into the gymnasium so you can see where our kids get to now incorporate exercise. Healthy living is important for our kids at a very early age. And what's really cool is we're going to be incorporating in the spring, in partnership with the Big Green Foundation, one of the first of its kind in the nation, a sensory community garden for our community, but also for our children. It'll be an educational garden, a teaching garden. We're developing curriculum to support our children on the spectrum that may have sensory issues when it comes to plants, when it comes to textures, when it comes to the soil. We're going to incorporate an orchard. We're going to incorporate safe spaces within that beautiful garden. So it's really exciting. Exercise, healthy eating, healthy living. That's what Firefly is all about. So with that said, I'm going to put my mask on because we have to walk in and no one's allowed in there without a mask. So we're masking up, and I hope you can still hear me. I'm going to talk as loud as I could. All right, Tobin, let's get her going. Hey, everybody. So this is just some of our fabulous staff. Oh, okay, so you just heard that sensor go off. Here's what's so cool about Firefly. I'm going to step back so that I can remove my mask. But here's what's really cool about Firefly is that we make sure that we have everything in place so that a child can't elope at any given time without us knowing. And so what we heard there was that the door was open for more than 15 seconds. But look at this beautiful space. This is now a gymnasium. For years at the old location, we had a big room, and that served sort of like a gymnasium, but it was not really a gymnasium. And let's take a really quick peek at the playground right outside. So one of the things that we made sure that we designed the school was that we had safety measures put in place. So no one could get in, but our children couldn't just elope. So there's security cards for every entrance and exit. But if you look here, this beautiful space, we have our little tiny tot garden or playground on the other side of the wooden fence. That's for the little teeny tots, 18 months to about 3 years of age. Then we have our middle school playground in here. and we have the larger playground right in here. In the spring, we're going to be launching efforts to create those sun covers over this entire area, and the entire area there, so that our children will be able to come outside and eat lunch in the shade. As you can see, we don't have any shade yet, but the plan is to do those beautiful cloth sun protectors over the playground. We're going to plant some trees in the spring, some big trees, so that they will grow up and eventually provide the shade that we need. But this whole area, if you can imagine, if we had those sun covers over here, we could not only utilize for our children and our staff to eat lunch, but we could also host beautiful receptions. Look at all the space that we have down here. Friend-raising events, inviting our community as a whole to come and look at this beautiful new space we know as Firefly Autism. So let's go back inside and we'll go into the early learning area. I want to show you where we're doing diagnostics. All right. Once again, the beautiful gymnasium. You can see there's toys, balls, there's soccer balls, there's basketballs. I mean, they really teach the kids the importance of exercise. One of the things that we learned early on was that our children were no different. There were issues that we began to notice with obesity. There was issues we began to notice with developing type 2 diabetes. And so for that reason, we brought on a full-time registered nurse, Nurse Leslie we call her, and she works with our kids, making sure that they're healthy, making sure that if they need insulin, she's administering it appropriately. I mean, it's all about the health of our kids here, so we're really excited. So let's begin, and we'll head down the hall over to the diagnostic area. So this is considered the early learning wing. Ordinarily, you'll see kids walking through, but we have to be really careful. We can't show kids' faces because of HIPAA regulations, right? So we're very conscientious about that. We're also very aware of that. So let's walk on down. I'm walking backwards. I'm going to get a workout today, for sure. But we're going to walk over to the diagnostic center. Dr. Tanner Simpson is our psychologist. He is not in today, but let's take a peek at his office. So one of the wonderful things about our new facility is it provides us space to expand our services. The Early Learning Center, the Firefly Early Learning Center that I mentioned earlier, it's in the space next to us. Having a diagnostic center, right now, the wait list for just a diagnosis can be anywhere from 18 months to 2.5 years. Now imagine, most children hopefully get diagnosed around 18 months because that's when families begin to notice there are differences in the way a child engages socially. That's usually when they go to daycare, that's usually when the parent starts to notice the communication skills. And so if you're waiting 18 months on top of that, or 2.5 years, think of all that time you've lost with early intervention. One of the things that we know is that early intervention is the absolute key to success for any child. Whether you're artistic or you're not, it doesn't matter, right? The earlier you begin to work with the child, the quicker they pick up skills. And the reason being is is between 0 and 6 years of age, our brains are very malleable and they can regenerate new neurological pathways. So autism is considered a neurological processing disorder. And so we focus on helping children achieve their maximum to be the best that they can be. And today in early childhood, we have a 98% graduation rate, which means kiddos came in, could have been here 2 years, 3 years, 4 years sometimes, but they graduate and they assimilate back into their neurotypical settings. They know how to advocate for themselves. They're not going to be, they're never going to grow out of autism, but they're going to be able to adjust to their environment successfully. They're going to be able to utilize the gifts, the skill sets that they have because of their autism. And in many cases, we've seen tremendous success. We have a young man who was one of our original Fireflies who graduated from Firefly in the early days, went on to CU Boulder, graduated top of his class in mechanical engineering. And he talks about how he was able to utilize his autism to see things in his math equations that others couldn't see. We have a board member, Travis Plackey, who is also on the spectrum, and he talks about how he calls his autism superpower, right? But that's for him, and that's what he feels comfortable with. But it's allowed him to be so successful in life. He still struggles sometimes, and he'll tell you, you know, it might be lighting, it might be hearing, the overstimuli from noises, but he's learned how to manage that and be successful. And what we tell all parents, never give up hope. There's always hope. Autism is just a different way of being, right? And if they can teach us how to communicate differently, the world opens up, not just for them, these children, but for us. So it makes it a wonderful opportunity for all of us. I'm so passionate about the work that we do here at Firefly. My line staff, they are the most amazing, the most empathetic, the most committed staff to our families. We just love them. And they are the heart and soul of Firefly. Without our line staff, Firefly wouldn't be who it is today. Without our chief clinical officer, without Dr. Amanda Kelly, who is our director of clinical services, Rebecca Worley, who is our clinical manager, our clinical director for center-based programs. I mean, all of our staff, they each play a role and have committed to the longevity of our organization, and it's because of them that we continue to evolve and become better. And it's because of them that we're nationally and internationally recognized for the work that we do. But it all started with a vision, and that visionary was Diane Osaki, who we just admire and appreciate for all her efforts. So now let's go into my office, and we're going to talk to our Chief Operations Officer or Chief Clinical Officer, Mr. Ken Wynn. All right. So as you can see the little cubby here, this is Unicorn Room. This is our family training room. These are our cubbies for all the little guys. Well, let's go in here and talk to Ken Wynn for a minute. Where is Mr. Ken Wynn? Do we know? Well, let me show you what we can do in the interim. Oh, there he is. Here's Ken. It's like he magically appeared.
They try to keep me hidden.
So Ken, talk to our audience here out there in Facebook land. Talk to them about the work that happens here, why we're recognized nationally and internationally, and how we roped you in to Firefly over 6 years ago.
Over 6 years ago. They pulled me in from Florida. That was before it snowed. But I've become really excited about being in Colorado, being in Firefly. Colorado is a great place to live, and it's a great place to work, especially in this field, because Colorado and the community of autism providers, and particularly behavior analysis, is really growing, and we're great to be a part of that and to be leaders in that. So we encourage customized and individualized programming. That's our claim to fame. All of our clients receive individualized assessment and treatment that is specific to their needs, specific to their context. We also are we highly value data. So all of our clients have between 15 and 20 objectives that we take data on to measure their success at those objectives. If we don't see that level of progress, we revise our programming to ensure that we indeed meet those outcomes. All of our clients have done extremely well here. In fact, many of our clients have gone on to transition to work and to other environments, and we're very, very excited about that. One of the main things that makes us different is we highly emphasize our staff and supporting our staff and ensuring they're properly trained. All of our staff are highly trained. We emphasize tools in their toolbox model. So rather than a set curriculum, all of our staff are highly trained, and we provide that training as necessary for each of the clients that we serve. We are also leaders in the behavioral analytical community and well known for the successes we have. We constantly get referrals from the school districts, from families, and from other organizations because of the effectiveness of our services.
So Ken, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that we continue to evolve and we continue to focus on not just working with individuals on the spectrum, but working with our community as a whole. And one of the things about Firefly, under Ken's leadership and direction, has really been to provide a holistic approach, which incorporates speech therapy, which incorporates occupational therapy in a center-based model, and other opportunities for children to, that services that they would need. In the past, families would have to drive all over the city, so they get autism-focused treatment in one area, then they'd have to drive clear across town for speech or occupational therapy. And the way it's set up here at Firefly is it's all under one umbrella, so that families aren't driving all over the city. And I think that's been an
huge.
amazing.
That's huge. Most providers have what I call an a la carte model, so they piece them together. I get OT from this provider, I get speech from this, I get AB from this. We provide, while we honor and respect families' individual rights to get the services that they need for their client by preferred providers, we offer the whole shoot match right here. You can get OT, you can speech, you can get mental health. And if we see the need for a service that we don't currently provide, we go out, research it, find out if we can, we bring it in. So the diagnostic center was an example of that. We saw that need a few years ago, and after researching it and finding the right person, Dr. Simpson, we were exploding with that. So one of the reasons why we're known is because we will always do what's right by the client.
Well, and one of the other things that demonstrates exactly that is one of the biggest areas of needs are to provide support service for adults on the spectrum, because no one does that. And so we were getting calls after calls from adults. They're saying, hey, I need some place to go to get support. And so we rolled out, under Dr. Amanda Kelly's direction, we rolled out the adult program 3 weeks ago, which is now flourishing. And so what it is, it's bringing like-minded individuals together to create a support group for our adults on the spectrum, and also to help them learn how to feel socially integrated outside of the professional work. Because many of our adults, they're very successful with business, or they're very successful in their respective fields, but they just don't feel socially connected. That's exactly it. And so again, Firefly, what I love about us is we identified the need and we take action.
Even in the backdrop of a pandemic, not only did Firefly sustain our ability to provide the services, the life-saving services that we provide, but we grew. We added a sibling group, which has been taken off. We added our adult. We had our first one last week. I was upstairs and I saw we have a friendship soup mix, which I loved, teaching people what it takes to develop friendship and maintain friendship. So that's been awesome to see. So not only have we continued our services, we've grown.
So, but we can't do this work without your support, without your help. And so Colorado Gives Day is a wonderful time to ask for your support. And here's how you can do it. So our Director of Development, Mr. Tobin Trussell, is going to demonstrate for you how we do this. So Tobin, walk them through this.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously we have some of the best leaders in the industry here, and we're also blessed to be a part of changing lives every day that that are impactful in everyday life. So I would like to share with you why you should support our Colorado Gives Day initiative. You can go to coloradogives.org, and I'm going to take you to our specific page, coloradogives.org/Firefly Autism. You can just put in Firefly Autism, and it will work, Firefly Autism. It will take you to our direct page. Now, every dollar that you give on this day is boosted by a $1 million incentive fund. $1 million. So today is such an impactful day for you to come out and make a change, especially through this such vital time of the year. So let me just say, we thank you. We thank you for considering us so that we can make a change in the lives of our community. So go to coloradogives.org/Firefly Autism. You'll see this open page. Simply click over here on donate. You can see Firefly Autism House. That's us, Firefly Autism. And simply go to the right, top right corner, click on donate. Under here, you can select donation amount, whether it be $5 or $500 or more. Whatever works within your budget and your family. And frequency, go ahead and select today, because today is the last day to select for our Colorado Gives Day. And today is when every dollar that you make donated is boosted by our $1 million incentive fund. So go ahead and select that. Frequency, donor discretion, all the normal pieces here, fairly straightforward. Go ahead and add to cart. So if you want to go ahead and select, I would like to give $1,000, and I'm going to go ahead and add to cart. You can also select if you want if you want them to cover the fees, and then if you have never made a profile before, when you go through to select, you just create a profile for your donation. Everything needs to be scheduled through a credit card, and you can choose to have the credit card fees paid for by yourself, so every dollar truly comes straight to Firefly Autism. More information to come, but thank you very much. Again, coloradogives.org/Firefly Autism. And we are so appreciative of everything that you do for us. Thank you, and we have more fun on the tour to come. We really appreciate it. And after Ken and Jesse.
So, Tobin mentioned it, Colorado Gives Day. Let me tell you, my motto has always been $1 at a time. So any amount, we take any amount and appreciate what that amount is. Because for us, $5 is just as important as 50, is just as important as 1,000. It's just getting our community engaged. That's what's important to us. And I promise you, as the CEO, and Ken as our COO, that we will always be great stewards of your hard-earned money. We never take that for granted. Also, you get to take advantage of the child care tax credit by donating to Firefly, which is significant. We've had people tell us that they've donated for years at higher levels because they never pay Colorado state tax because they can take advantage of this, right? So it's a great deduction. So now Ken and I are going to walk out. We're going to take you upstairs into the school age program. So we've got primary and secondary.
Yep.
All right, let's do this, Ken.
As well as elementary.
And elementary.
Outside.
So one of the things that's very, very important is that we keep our children separated. So this entire wing is early childhood, right? So that ages 18 months to about 6 years of age, depending on the child. Then upstairs we have primary, elementary, and secondary. So you've got ages between 7 and 12, 13 to 18. We even have young adults through 21. So it really is a pretty awesome continuum of care. So now let's run upstairs to the program.
Actually, one
I would
of
like
our,
to introduce one of our best employees here, our favorite. He introduces everybody as soon as you walk in the door. This is Jake.
nice to meet you, everybody.
Jake,
Thanks for
say
tuning
hello.
in.
He's also got great dad jokes.
He does.
It's true. Oh, don't get him started. Don't get him started. No, but I would like to introduce one of our very special clients, Mr. Noah, has a welcome message for everybody out there tuning in. Noah, you want to come say hi?
No, you can say hi.
Hi.
You got a message for us, right, bud?
Please consider donating to Firefly Autism. I love my school, thank you. Please consider donating to Firefly Autism. I love my school, thank you.
You can say bye. Bye. So, you want to give a thumbs up?
Thumbs up,
There
Noah?
you go. You want 2 thumbs up? Show 'em.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, we'll see you later, bud.
Just like
Yep.
Bye.
Jen. Yeah, come on.
Hey, we're going upstairs.
Bye, Tobin.
Hey, bye, buddy. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.
Laura Donna will be outside waiting for us.
Let's actually show where the community, sensory community garden is going. Hey, everybody. Here's some of our amazing staff at Firefly. These are the folks that make Firefly rock and roll.
Hi.
more rocking than rolling.
Yeah, sometimes more rocking than rolling. Good point, Ken. Hey, Laura Donna, do you want to tell them a little bit about the first of its kind in the nation sensory community garden we're working on?
Absolutely. Our community garden will be a learning center and a place where our kids will be able to learn how to grow food. They will also be able to sell food to our neighbors. So it will be crucial for their learning skills, including learning social skills. And it will also be a place where they will be able to relax. One of the problems with our population is that unfortunately they don't have much access to public, to outdoor places where they can relax. So our goal is to create an amazing center where they will be able to learn and relax. And that is our goal. My name is Loredana. I am a registered behavioral technician and I love working for Firefly. I changed my career as I turned 50. Was in the medical field before, and I am a newly behavioral analyst. And coming to Firefly is an amazing motivation. It's really what gives me the opportunity to come to work. Please consider helping our kids as they were your kids. Thank you.
Thank you so
So
much.
we have somebody that wants to say hi to you. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
What are you doing?
We're shooting a video for Firefly. Do you like it here?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell us what your favorite part is.
My favorite part is playground.
Playground? The playground's great, right?
Spoken like a typical kid, right?
Mine too. It's my favorite part too.
Can you say hello to everybody?
Bye.
Hello,
So you're seeing all
everybody.
kinds of people there, buddy. They can see you.
Yeah.
Say hi to your
All
nana.
right.
Bye, no.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So let's over there you'll see those garden boxes and these picnic tables. Both of these were done by 2 different Eagle Scout for their Eagle Scout project. So they were both done. Those boxes are going to be incorporated into the learning garden. So let's take a really quick peek as to where that's going. So as you can see, we have almost 3 acres of property between the front, the south end to the north end, east to west.
on this end right here, this is what's exciting. This is where the learning garden, community garden is going to go. We're going to have a little orchard. We're going to have different gardens, one for community, one that's a learning garden for our kids. It's an educational garden. We'll be creating the curriculum, as I said earlier. So they're going to learn how to grow, how to maintain, and then how to harvest, which is really great. The other pieces that we're looking at incorporating on the backside is an area for honeybees, where they get to learn, and it's a totally self-contained garden, where we've got our pollinators, we've got our veggies, we've got our fruit, we've got other varieties of herbs that are used in the kitchen. So with that said, let's go back inside and let's show you the upstairs section of Firefly. Never fear, Nick is here.
Pelton!
You want to go ahead and lead them up?
If you'd have seen our old building, you'd have been hugely surprised at what we're able to do here relative to our old building. The space here allows us to do things we couldn't have done at
Tobin.
So this is our school age program. These are for children age 7 all the way up to age 21.
Oh, we have kids crossing and moving right now, so let's hold off just a minute.
One of our clients is having
So,
Do you want to go out through the front door?
a lot of times we have kids that are having crisis. So what we're going to do right now, they're talking to him and working with him on his sensory overload. So we're going to go back down and we're going to come up the other way, which is cool. So here we go. All right. So, never a dull moment at Firefly. It really isn't. Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thanks. Where? We going this way?
Okay, so here I have to walk back again. I swear to God, not only am I going to get my steps, but I'm getting a workout.
Nice.
I'm going to be sore by the time the day's over. So we're going to walk around. There are two entrances into
Hi.
the upstairs building. There's the south entrance and the north entrance. The south entrance, really upstairs, is dedicated to our home-based staff. So we have about 60 staff members that work in home base that are working throughout the Front Range, providing support to families in home. We also have a second branch located in Colorado Springs under the direction of Mandy Radis. Her and her team are doing an incredible job there as well. So we're going to come through the doors and we're going to go up. So here we go. So, really cool little story about this ponderosa pine right there. That tree was planted for our Mayor Adam Paul's mother. She was a teacher here in this school back in the day when it was a middle school. Her teachers, peers, she unfortunately developed cancer, later passed away. So what the teachers did is they bought this tiny little sapling, it's about this tall, that big around, and they planted it. So when I invited the mayor out to come tour the building prior to the remodel, he shared with us a story. So it's amazing how everything comes full circle. So let's head on up And we're going to come down to this end of the wing. So, since there are no kids, I'm going to remove my mask in this portion. We'll social distance. All of this area is considered our home-based offices. So prior to coming into this building, our home-based staff never felt connected. And the reason being was because in the old facility, there was around that particular child. We don't duplicate it. We don't do a cookie cutter model and slap it across hoping that some of it stays, because we know that that won't be successful. So every child has their own individualized educational plan. So this is our area. This particular area is what's called a nursing station. So if we have staff, if we have parents that are nursing, they can go in here in a nice quiet area, relax. There's a little refrigerator where they can do what they need to get done, and then come out and resume. And so it was really cool. It was our Dr. Amanda Kelly, Miranda Foley, that actually thought about that. Ken and I hadn't even thought about that until they reminded us, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a fabulous idea. So this space allows us to do things like that. So one of the cool things about our new home is that now we have space for conference rooms. So this is tied in to the internet. So if we're doing an IEP meeting with our school district and the parents, now we have spaces throughout the center where we can do that. So because of COVID, this has been so important, because now parents can log on to our Zoom call, school districts do the same, and we can literally go through a child's IEP right here. The other cool thing about this, all the furniture in our school was donated by Sanger Lewitt, the accounting firm, Singer Lewack, and also Holland and Hart. So thanks to them, we didn't have to purchase any furniture, which was phenomenal. So let's go back out. So I said earlier, one of the most important things that we recognized was the need for an RN support staff. So let me introduce you to Nurse Leslie. She's fabulous. We love her. She's amazing. So Leslie, just so that our audience know, I said I was only going to take my mask off right here and social distance, because there's no students. She will call me on the carpet, which we love. So Leslie, talk about what you do and why it's so important.
Well, I administer medications to the clients here, making sure that, you know, if they have any injuries or anything that's going on during the day, I'm here to follow up with them, and then I can talk to the parents directly. I'm also here to support the staff. If there's anything going on with them, I'm here to answer questions, to be a resource for them. And one of the things that's really good is they were kind of doing my job before I got here. So this allows them more latitude to really focus in on their kids, and if there's anything that they have questions about, or you know, if it's icky, should I send them home? Well, I'm here. I'm here as a resource for them. And so I really enjoy being a part of this team.
And I would also say that because of Leslie, for the most part, Firefly has been pretty successful in maintaining a COVID-free environment. So Leslie has really pushed our organization to make sure that not only were we following current CDC guidelines, but we were implementing further safety guidelines to ensure the safety of our staff and our kids. So thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
So we're going to go into this area here. We're going to actually interview one of our amazing line staff. So, we were coming in the other way, right? And at the time we couldn't, now we can. So let me introduce you to one of our amazing line staff. Would you introduce yourself and tell them what you do and
Sure.
why you love Firefly?
Absolutely. My name is Erin, and I work with the primary age students. So all of my boys right now, I believe, are actually 16. So for me, the best part about being here is the absolute joy that you see everywhere. The kids are excited when they're learning new things, they're acquiring skills that people maybe not necessarily thought they would have had in this point of their life. It's just been so cool to come here and watch these guys blossom and see their sense of humor and interact with them and be happy to see each other every day and have such supportive staff. It's just a fantastic place to work. I adore it.
So Erin is only one example of the amazing, what I mentioned earlier, our staff are the lifeline to Firefly. It's because of these guys we are who we are today, and because we continue to evolve and to grow to provide additional services that 3 years ago we didn't think we could. So Erin, thank you for all you do.
This building's been amazing.
It
really
is.
been so cool.
So let's go into the lunchroom down here.
Bye guys.
So we have our lunchroom. And this is for our school age.
So one of the things that Firefly also does for our older kids, so sometimes we have kids that don't get diagnosed until they're 8, 9, or 10. And so those are the kids we contract with the school district because they don't have the necessary tools to be able to provide the support that these children need. And so here, not only are we supporting them with their educational needs, but we're also teaching them life skills. So here they learn how to make their own lunch, how to warm it up. They use microwaves. We have a little counter griddle, we have a little fry pan, electric fry pan. We have a toaster. At one time we had a waffle maker, so that they get to learn how to utilize the tools supervised, so that hopefully when they graduate on from Firefly, they'll be able to live independently to support themselves. That's our goal. So this is a beautiful lunchroom here. One of the things that you'll notice, and I don't know if you have already throughout the building as we've been walking, one of the things that we did, this school of course, like others, it was built in 1947, so as you can imagine, it was all fluorescent lighting. If you know anything about folks on the spectrum, they can actually see the light dance, and it creates an overstimuli for them and not an environment that's conducive for learning. So we changed that. That was one of the most expensive portions of our remodel, but we believed that it was one of the most important things. So we've changed out all the lighting throughout the entire center. It's all LED. And it's really cool because it also, you can adjust the level of lighting simply during the course of the day. So if you need, right now it's on full lights. I can turn it down to half lights. I can turn it down to relaxed lights. So you can utilize the beauty of the windows throughout the building to take advantage of the light, so that not only do they have natural light to work with, but they also have supportive light that won't distract or create a sensory overload. So I'm going to put the mask back on, and we're going to go back out, and I believe we're going into our beautiful boardroom, which now serves as a community room and also a room for our sibling programs, for our adult programs that happen during the late afternoons and the evenings here at Firefly. So let's head this way. Okay, Tobin.
Jess, do you want to quickly tell us about the elevator edition?
Oh my gosh. So one of the coolest things about this facility is for years we've had families reach out with children in wheelchairs. Well, we couldn't support that because we weren't ADA compliant. But now, because not only are we ADA compliant, we also have an elevator that the children, for those in a wheelchair, can pull up to the west end of the building. There's a whole elevator entrance where they can come in, either go down to early childhood or go up to our secondary hall. So there's some of our amazing staff working with clients.
And we would like, at Firefly, we'd like to introduce you to Mayor to talk a little bit more about our programs up here.
Hi, I'm Mayor. I'm one of the BCBAs here. I serve kids across our
I work with some of the little kids that you may have already met. And I work with some of the kids up here who are school aged and older. It's really fun to get to see kids of such a wide ability and such a vast age range. I get to try a lot of new cool and different things. I get to really kind of push my limits as a BCBA and my kind of clinical boundaries. And I have support across the board. I've got really great staff working under me. I've got a really great boss above me. So it's just, it's great and it's wonderful every single day. Thank you so much for helping.
Oh, we're back on. So Tobin, you want to introduce our fabulous clinical director? This is Rebecca, who is also a BCBA. So you're gonna show us, what are you gonna show us, Rebecca?
The functional analysis room. So it's one of these procedures that we use to help identify why problem behavior is occurring. And we have a really great room here on site that is very specific to Firefly. I think we're one of the only centers in Colorado that has it. So
Shall we head that way?
we can head that way. I can show you a little bit more. So we don't have the kid in here yet. She will be coming down in about 20 minutes. We won't be able to show you her or anything she's doing, but we can show you the room she'll be in and describe some of the conditions that we try to assess behavior under. All right. All right, I don't know if you want to go in there. I can kind of talk around. So one of the important things about an FA room is that we have safety measures in place. There's a couple of different conditions that we run where the kid will be either alone by themselves, so they need to be able to be protected if they have some self-injurious behaviors, or other conditions where there is a therapist in there, but they're not interacting with the kid. And sometimes we get a little bit of resistance to not getting attention if they're used to it, or some other function for their behavior. So really important to have padding on the floor as well. And then this space is big enough for essentially one kid and one adult. And we can have materials that are appropriate for each condition in the room at the time. So for the control condition, we try to have all of the client's most preferred items and activities in the room. And under that condition, we want to see that no problem behaviors occur. Best case scenario, right? In other conditions, we have demands, right? So we'll have a table here, and we'll present demands. And if demands evoke problem behavior, we'll step away and say, okay, you don't have to. So we call that the escape condition. In another condition, we'll have a therapist in here who's pretending that they're reading a book, and the client who's just around, able to interact with a couple of moderately preferred toys, but nothing high preferred. And what we want to see there is if the client isn't getting attention, do we see the problem behavior, right? So I like to consider an FA kind of like an allergy test, right? So we provide the stimulus that should get that reaction, right? And if we see the reaction, then we can say that is most likely a function for their behavior, similar to what did I just call it? The allergy test, right? You put the peanuts on you. If you flare up, you're allergic to peanuts. And then the doctors are able to say, hey, stay away from those. So it's similar for us. I don't know if this is super important, but through a lot of our donations that we've had in the past, we were able to create this room. And going into it, I think you guys are able to see exactly the materials that are needed, right? This is not cheap stuff. We've got the padded walls. We've got a one-way mirror. So on the other side, if the kid's in there by themselves, usually they like to dance in front of the mirror. It's really fun. But they can't see us. On our side, we use our computers to collect data. And then I'll show you some example data if you're into that. Let's see. Don't get too close. I don't have any. Still have some client information I need to remove before I show you all of it. But on our side here, we're usually collecting data, watching the kid through the mirror and really assessing how high or like what kind of levels we're seeing for the problem behavior. So these are preliminary data. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I'll just use my finger. Okay. So, I'm not going to assume that everybody's really comfortable with reading graphs, but what you can see is different data paths. So we have some closed circles that are filled in, some open circles, squares, and triangles. And all of those data paths represent the different conditions that I described. And what we want to see is the control condition. Again, we don't want any problem behavior to happen. The kids should have everything they want. So we would expect to see really low levels of problem behavior. So if that's low, anything elevated above it, we could say that there's a potential for a function. And if you're familiar with our field, our biggest goal is to replace maladaptive behaviors with adaptive behaviors. So that's the big story about an FA room. I don't know if people are commenting or asking questions. But
No questions so far. Thank you so much for showing that to us.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take you guys back over to Toland and Jesse in our fabulous conference room.
Good. Hey, hello everybody. So, one of the things that you'll notice, see this beautiful brick? One of the things that we were really adamant about was incorporating the beauty of this building. Gia's going to go in a minute and do a surround view of this building. This particular building, built in 1947, it was loaded with asbestos. That was the first major project we had that we needed to do, was to remove it. And it took a couple of months because it was a lot. But it also has on the south entrance, the rounded feature that buildings used to have. So it's got a lot of character, but I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge the beauty from within. So we've kind of, throughout the remodel, we remodeled this from a clinician's perspective. How they could utilize the space in an optimal way to get the most they could out of utilizing that space, and that would serve not just them, but would serve our families in an appropriate manner. This particular room that we're located in is our community room. So we use it for our board meetings. Well, that was pre-COVID. Now we're doing Zoom. But the cool thing is now we've got the big screens in each of our conference rooms, so we can have all of our board members zooming in. They're live on the screen. We can see them. They participate, and it really as almost as if you're here, right? Hopefully, once we get past this pandemic, things will revert back to normal. And what I would tell you is that for those of you that are on watching, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your day just to spend time with Firefly, to get to know a little bit about us, to get to admire the beauty of our beautiful building. We're very proud of it. Firefly has come a long way, and not on our own. It's because of community. It's because of supporters like you that believe in the work that we do, by investing their dollars, by investing their time, by volunteering or donating toys and other materials that we are in need of constantly. So what I would say to you is thank you for considering Firefly as a charity of your choice to donate today. There's so many, 2,900 participating charities that are doing incredible work. But today, more than ever, us organizations doing this work need your support to be able to get through COVID. I mean, we're seeing organizations closing their doors. We're seeing restaurants closing their doors across the board. We're going to get through this, but the only way we can do that is by supporting each other in any way possible. By us ordering from our local restaurants here in Lakewood, takeout. We do it every day because we believe that we need to support and give back to the communities in which we live. So for those of you watching, please consider making a donation today. for Firefly Autism. We're great stewards of your dollars. We commit to that, always have been, and always will. So at this time, I'm gonna ask Gia to go over to Tobin so he can demonstrate one last time how to make a donation.
Well, hello everybody. I can't do it much better than Jesse. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, and we love you. We appreciate all your support. So, to make a donation through Colorado Gives Day, straightforward, coloradogives.org/Firefly Autism. So, coloradogives.org/Firefly Autism. On the right-hand side, you'll see this donation feature. Go ahead and select Donate. This will pull up a separate page. You will need to create an account if you have not in the past. Very straightforward, very simple. They don't do anything with your information, just making sure that you can give through the channels that you approve. Donation amount, if I would like to give $1,000 to Firefly Autism. Frequency, I would like to cover the fees, which allows me to go ahead and pay the 2% credit card processing fee. So literally every dollar that I give goes to Firefly, and I cover only the very small 2% that goes to the credit card processing. We all know we want to get our miles or our points anyway. Donor discretion, you can go ahead and pick however you would like. If you want it to be anonymous, in memory, anything like that, and then you can go ahead and add the cards. So simple as that, and you can see, so my $1,000 donation, I authorize, and completely up to you, I'm gonna go ahead and cover the credit card processing fee, so I know every one of my $1,000 is gonna stay right here at our Firefly Autism Center and go to support these great programs that we have. You can go ahead and scroll down, and you can proceed to check out, and if you need to create an account, you can create an account, you can continue as guest. I already have an account, or I can log in here, but you can go ahead and create an account, and then you can schedule your donation, which will be done purely through credit card today only. Today is the last day to be able to schedule your donation to be matched by the $1 million incentive fund. So every dollar is boosted by the incentive fund. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tobin. I'm telling you guys, this is an amazing organization. And one of the last things that I'll say, and I want Ken to talk a little bit about why it's so important to have our community involved. One of the things that Ken and I have always been firm believers is that there's so much work that needs to get done. We can't do this alone. So what that means is that we love to play with our sister organization, partner organizations, to support their efforts as well. We never consider ourselves better than anyone else because we need each other to be able to ensure that every family has access to critical services that they need so that every child can live independent and in a full life. Because people on the spectrum, they want what everyone else wants. It's just to be an individual, to be respected for who they are. And one of the things that we're adamant about is that as we continue to evolve as an organization, ensuring that people understand that autism is just a different way of being. We could learn so much more if we are open to learning different ways of communicating. I have grown as a human being in these past going on 7 years now with this organization, more so than I had in my previous years of my professional life in the professional industry. This organization has really shown me what work is really like when you get to go home and I get to put my head on my pillow and I go to sleep knowing that I've done something that is going to be changing lives. One of the things that Firefly is working towards is changing the landscape, putting Colorado on the map of how we support our community of autism and the individuals, the amazing, incredible individuals on the autism spectrum. So Ken, what would you like to say?
Well, I think you spoke well, Jesse. And I always like to say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a country to raise a child with autism. We all need to work together. There's so much need out there. Firefly depends on its donors, people like you, to keep us running. Without the donor community, we wouldn't be open. And the children and clients that we serve here deserve the therapy that we provide for them. We've changed lives. We have people that can talk, that couldn't talk before. Children that had trouble eating that now can eat full meals. Engage in social interaction that couldn't before. That go on to do things like have jobs and become more productive members of society. And that depends on you. And Jesse mentioned, we believe very strongly in working with a community. We work strongly with other organizations, other behavioral organizations, and other autism providers, because the work needs everybody.
Thank you, Ken. So with that, thank you for your consideration. Thank you for spending time with us here at Firefly. We're so proud of our building. Once the pandemic subsides, we'll be giving live tours again so that you can come in and see this beautiful facility, but you can also see your dollars in action. We're firm believers in that. We always invite every donor to come and see the work so that they can feel good that they've made the right choice. Again, to all those other charities out there, they're doing amazing work. We just appreciate that you would even consider Firefly Autism as one of your charities for Colorado Gives Day. God bless you. Thank you so much. Let's get through these next 6 months. Hopefully a vaccine will be around soon.